injury. We'll see if Bridgewater can get back. It certainly sounds like Teddy Bridgewater has a better chance of being back Sunday against Minnesota than Christian McCaffrey.
And Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins were hot until they were not, and he was benched against Denver. What happens going forward?
Brian Flores said after the game that Tua will remain as the starting quarterback Sunday at the Jets. He wanted the ability to try to jumpstart the offense late in the game, running the 2-minute drills. Trusted Fitz a little bit more at that point in time. So Tua came out of the lineup, but Tua will be back in the starting lineup Sunday.
What did you think about that?
I like the move. You know, people are going to say, well, when are you going to start to trust your young quarterback, put him in the fire? But at some point, when your quarterback is getting beat up, the offensive line is like a sieve, and Denver's just teeing off on him. I get it. Protect it. What did we come into the season with worrying about Tua? The injuries. So you already see him. He's getting bent and contorted. Why continue to put him in that situation and allow him to get beat up? Brian Flores and Chris Greer, they have earned the ability to make decisions, because every decision they've made over the last 12, 18 months, it's worked out.
Yes.
Even when we thought it wasn't going to work out, it's worked out. So I'm going to lean on them. If Brian Flores says, hey, I'm going to put Fitz in, you know what? Go ahead. I'm with you.
You know, when I look at this situation, I look at all the young quarterbacks, Bug, Adam, that had to really take the bumps in the road, that had to take the lumps across the chin. Think about a young Jared Goff, when you think about a young Josh Allen. But when you're seeing that guys like Bradley Chubb, the way Vic Fangio had that defense 10 off on that offense, he was pressured all day. Yes, I understand now, since you put it that way, of why Brian Flores took him out. But if that wasn't the reason, then why didn't he let his young quarterback take his lumps? Because going down the road for the future, he's going to need to be able to battle through some adversity, and he took him out yesterday, but he was unable to battle through that adversity.
Wasn't he nicked up during the week, too, though? I think he was a little bit. Steve, what did you think of the move?
It was awkward when they put him in first, a couple weeks ago, and it was like, really? And then, because Fitz was on a roll, you're like, okay, look, I don't mind. I lived this with Joe Montana back and forth. Like, the rigor of it is totally fine. And I think if you're going to be an NFL quarterback and last, you can come in and out and people can pull you and go back in and start. I'm not worried about it. But in today's game, everyone's looking for that clean kind of pathway. And if Tua's is going to be back and forth, I think then Brian should really specific to the media, because then we all sit and talk about it and we gin everything up. When if he's like, no, look, he's going to play, and if he doesn't play well, he's going to come out. Fitz is going to play. Maybe Fitz starts, maybe he doesn't. I just appreciate Brian just letting us in so that we can all support that decision, because it looked awkward from the beginning, and now it's starting to get more awkward.
All right, we move on. Next week, the Dolphins in the division at the Jets. Coming up here on Monday Night Countdown, Boomer counts down the top plays of Week 11. The Cleveland Browns had plenty of great candidates from Sunday, but none were number one. See what tops the list. Plus, we have one-on-one interviews with Rob Gronkowski and Jalen Ramsey. Gronk and Randy Moss explain why they were some of Tom Brady's favorite targets.
And that's what Tom loves. Let me tell you why we're his favorite too, Moss.
You're watching Monday Night Countdown, presented by
Preview at the home of Super Bowl 55. Raymond James Stadium plays host as Aaron Donald and a dominant Rams defense takes on Tom Brady and the Bucs. TB12 and company looking for primetime redemption. They've been a bit sluggish under the lights this season. We'll tell you about all the changes they've made this week to remedy that. Aaron Donald was something to prove as well. Brady is the only quarterback he's faced multiple times without a sack or a win. Tonight, Jared Goff and the Rams offense will also need to carry their weight against perhaps the best defense they've faced this season. A game of heavyweights will get you set for kickoff and break down an action-packed Week 11 on Monday Night Countdown, presented by Subway. Who wants to be in Tampa in February? Hall of Famer Steve Young, who once wore the creamsicle colors, is a Pirate tonight. Steve on board the Buccaneer ship. And Steve, we know you probably can't even hear us now, but we wish that we were there with you. We have water. We're here at the Seaport District. That'll have to suffice. Here with Booger McFarland, Hall of Famer Randy Moss, Adam Schefter. I'm Susie Colbert. Steve, you doing okay there on the ship?
We made it. It's, you're at ground zero right here.
All right, well, we know how big this game is tonight, so start us off here. What's the biggest thing you're looking forward to tonight?
There's no question. Both sides of the ball, when they break the huddle of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are ready to go to the Super Bowl, and getting more so, I think, every week as they get more cohesive. Because Tom Brady, he's the guy that's going to draw that. No one's better than him, than Peyton Manning, getting that team more cohesive and data-driven to have an accountability and a sense of direction, and really it's just the number of things that they do so well. But when they break the huddle on both sides of the ball, the one place they're not ready for the Super Bowl is the offensive line. Against the Chicago Bears, those top 5 pass rushers, when they can bring 4, like the Bears, like the Saints, like the Rams, that's why tonight is so pivotal. If you think that they actually can go to the Super Bowl, then you watch those 5 offensive linemen, and can they keep a 43-year-old, Tom's never been fast, Susie, but he's not getting faster. And then right up the middle, you saw what happened those couple of weeks against those great pass rushing teams. It's a problem. If it's a problem tonight, then it's a problem for the Super Bowl. And I think every Buccaneer fan is going to be looking tonight to see what happens against this Ram defensive front.
With the defensive front coming after this Tampa Bay Bucs offense, you got to be able to use your stars tonight, Book. A star-studded offense tonight going against a star-studded defense. I'm talking about Leonard Floyd, pass rusher, Aaron Donald. Later on, I'm going to tell you about this guy named Waldo Adams-Schefter. And there's a young cornerback by the name of Williams that's having a little success as of lately. But when you got Brown, you got Gronk, you got Godwin, you got Evans, man, it's a lot of firepower on that offensive side for Tom Brady. Tonight is not to let the offensive line let him down tonight. He needs to let that ball go tonight, Book.
We came into this season saying that the Buccaneers would play better mid-season than they did early in the season. Well, guess what? It's mid-season right now. So if not now, when? When are the Buccaneers going to show up and start to play consistently, offensively, defensively? Last time out, Todd Bowles, you got embarrassed, okay, by Sean Payton. Sean Payton embarrassed you in a primetime game. Well, guess who's coming in tonight? One of the better young play callers in this league, Sean McVay.
Yes.
And if you don't think Sean McVay and this offense will embarrass you, you got another thing coming. So I'm seeing if the Buccaneers can play consistently under the lights tonight.
Well, here's what I'm looking at. I know that the winner of this game gets to make a big statement and move ahead in its division and compete for that. But the flip side to this is the loser of this game might come out ahead, because the loser might be more apt to get the wild card. And the wild card is more apt to play at the winner of the NFC East. Would you rather win your division, be it the NFC South or the NFC West, and play the Saints or the Bucks or one of those teams? Would you rather finish as the wild card and travel to Dallas or Philadelphia or Washington? I think you'd rather do that than win the division.
However you slice it, both head coaches have told their players this is playoff football tonight. Right, so lots to get to on tonight's game. But Adam, let's start with news around the NFL, and we'll start with bad news, not just for the Bengals, but for the NFL. The #1 overall draft pick is out.
And it was worse news than what was expected, Susie. Joe Burrow went down yesterday with what turned out to be a torn ACL, a torn MCL. My understanding is there's damage to his PCL, there's damage to his meniscus. He's going to have reconstructive knee surgery. And my understanding is, while everybody's different, everybody rehabs different, the timeline for an injury like this is anywhere from 9 months on the aggressive side to up to a year. So the fact of the matter is, at the very least, his status for the 2021 season is in question, and you're right, it is a loss for everybody.
And if the status for the 21 season is in question, why are we even talking about it? I get it. We're going to wait and see. Let's see how the surgery goes and rehab, et cetera, et cetera. But the Bengals have finally found the franchise quarterback. I think we all can realize that since Carson Palmer, they've been looking and searching. And no slight to Andy Dalton, but this guy is the franchise. And if there's any question whatsoever about 2021, bringing him back for 3-4 games, don't bring him back at all. Bring him back in 2022, because this team is not ready to win right now anyway. The offensive line is a mess. Everybody's wondering, why would you have this young man passing so many times behind a porous offensive line? So if I'm the Bengals, it's really simple. Joe Burrow, take your time. You tell us when you're ready. In the meantime, let's get the offensive line ready to go. Let's get the defense ready to go, because they have a franchise quarterback, and he'll be ready in 2022.
You're talking about franchise quarterback, Book. Yes, it was sad to see him go down. But I want to talk about his tweet that he gave back to the account when he said, "You cannot get rid of me that easy." That's the franchise quarterback talking. And you said, hey, maybe we won't see him next season, but Joe Burrow, I'm going to tell you what, you have a lot of fans rooting for you. So best of luck, speedy recovery. Can't wait till you get back on the field.
Steve, how would you advise Burrow?
First of all, with that kind of an injury, when it's, literally your knee goes backwards. It just, it's devastating. the key, Susie, because the game is getting more college-like. The demand of a quarterback to be able to be mobile, to get those free yards we talk about every week, he needs that mobility back. So forget about however long it takes. Do whatever it takes to get completely healed and safe and try to work on that mobility, because I've seen these kind of injuries and people come back and some people don't get back to 80%, 90%. He's going to need every bit of it because the game is moving away from people who can't move. And so that mobility, that knee, in the past, 20 years ago, you're like, it's all right, he'll get back and throw in the pocket. That's not the case anymore. He needs that knee to go be the best quarterback he can be in the NFL today.
All right, we wish Joe the best. In news